Good morning. It takes a while to get started on 8 channels simultaneously, so you have to give me a minute to get wound up. I know the title is probably still about neurofeedback, so I guess in a way this video is still about neurofeedback. I'm not sure if I changed my title on Restream last night, but either way, I'm going to do another peak performance neurofeedback video after this, so I might as well not change the video titles until after I do it. So in essence, this video is also part of the peak performance neurofeedback series, because when you are training the brain, especially with neurofeedback, with EEG biofeedback, you're forcing the neurons into under the probes, right, in the neocortex, into a state of hyperplasticity. It's technically known as neurodendritic plasticity, and even though it does slow down when you reach 25, 26, 27 years old, it never stops. Just like you can always build muscle, it just takes a little bit longer, a little bit more patience and stoicism. You can build muscle at any age, right? And I'm coming up on my 60th birthday in January, and you can also create a situation where you're developing dendrites. Now, dendrites are like branches, right? If you understand the way neurons work, you have the axion from which it receives information, and you have the dendrites. The dendrites are like branches, okay? And just like on a tree branch, branches can grow from other branches, right? You have a branch and it has branches growing from it, right? Then that branch can also have little branches growing from it. Well, that's called plasticity. And with regard to the brain, what we're doing is we're stimulating neurodendritic plasticity. So then training along the somatosensory band, or the motor cortex, the center of the brain, which is known to be the place to train for athletic peak performance. And what you do is you create a state of hyperneurodendritic plasticity in the brain, and right in the area where it controls the motor cortex. It controls voluntary movement, right? Picking up things, picking up weights, doing things, physical activity, right? I've shown you on previous videos how where on the motor cortex affects what, right? But what we're doing with the neurofeedback is akin to hitting it with a softball. So the probe is there where you're trying to train, but you're actually affecting the whole area around there, like the size of a baseball. So it's a blunt instrument, right? But it nevertheless does work, right? And all of these tools are pretty much blunt instruments, but the concept of training the motor cortex for peak athletic performance is not new, right? In fact, yesterday I trained, and I'm going to get started swimming, but yesterday I trained the frontal lobe and the motor cortex together. Today I'm going to do the motor cortex against the cerebellum, which has to do with sports and repetitive motion that you train to the point of perfection, right? Like our elite athletes. But nevertheless, let's get started. Yes. So what does hyperplasticity accomplish? Well, hyperplasticity, hyperneurodendritic plasticity, helps you to establish new neural pathways. That's why when we train, we reference. So train the frontal lobe, referencing the somatosensory band, or the motor cortex, or the parietal lobe, or the occipital lobe. And you can train and reference anywhere to anywhere. And if you understand what parts of the neocortex, which is the outside, the wrinkly part of the brain, what parts of the neocortex affect what, then you can focus. And in this instance, we're focusing on what influences athletic performance. Yesterday I trained and referenced the frontal lobe. Today I'm going to train the motor cortex, referencing the, well, at the bottom of the occipital lobe, the cerebellum, right? Cerebellum. Basically, this is an inside-out approach to fitness, right? And this is what I suggest for men over 50, because lifting weights, working out, running, standing upright, it puts a lot of compression on your spine, on the discs between your vertebrae. And when you get older, it can cause problems. You see a lot of senior citizens hunched over, bent over, walking with walkers, or even using wheelchairs. And back problems occur. Now, you know, there's argument on whether or not we should be walking upright, right? But nevertheless, it does happen. And if you've been lifting weights throughout your youth, you're going to find that you may have some bulging or herniated discs. You may have wedged discs, and sometimes they may hit a nerve like the sciatic nerve, and it'll cause a lot of pain. Sciatica is man, your soul hurts when you have sciatica. That's a pain I don't wish on anyone. And I had it. So I got an inversion table, and I started hanging upside down with a cervical collar with dumbbells hanging off of it, believe it or not. And I did so for about 27 minutes one day, and pop, the bulged disc that was pressed up against my sciatic nerve popped open. And it hurt. It hurt right there on my back, but I didn't have sciatic pain down my leg anymore. The pain immediately relocated to the point of impact on the sciatic nerve after it had gotten relieved. I had to get my son to help me back on the bed, and I did that inversion for I think about a week straight, 6-7 days straight, and then it strengthened up. And then I realized after having an MRI that I had a number of discs and intervertebral discs that had problems. So I took about a year and a half, and did a lot of inversion. And because I believe if you want to reap the rewards of having built a nice basis of muscle throughout your younger years, then which is essential, then you have to regroup, just like the eagle, right? Plucks away his own claws and feathers and beak, when he reaches middle age, 50 years or so that it grows back stronger for the next 50 years. We have to downshift and take care of the spine and take care of the cardiovascular system, right? Because another drawback to bodybuilding is hypertension, and you don't want to go that route. And you don't want to go the route of Ronnie Coleman getting spinal surgeries. So bodybuilders over 50, and I'm talking to you, Raymel. I'm talking to your ass. Take time to take care of your spine. Hang upside down. Do some inversion therapy. And hang upside down and get in the pool or run, and make sure that you're taking care of your heart, right? Take the next phase of fitness from the inside out, right? The mind, the spine, and the heart, and then continue to have fun with muscle. So 24-hour fitness, be back. Like Arnold would say, I'll be back. I love taking advantage of these holiday days because you can really make some gains. You can really work out and The weather has been superb in the 60s. You really can't beat it here in Southern California. So I might drag Kai to the beach and run. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe we'll just lift. All right. So thank you for watching the Peak Performance Protocol. Wishing everyone a happy Thanksgiving, happy holidays in general, Merry Christmas and all of that. I love this time of the year. And thank you for watching the Peak Performance Protocol. I gotta burn this fat off. I got BTs. Yes. Shout out to my kids, Kai, Katie, and Yvonne. Love you guys. I do all of this for you. Shout out to the biometrics team. Thank you. You ladies mean everything to me. Literally. And I appreciate you. I really do. Let's finish this up. So why in the morning? Why train first thing in the morning? Well, you want to provoke the release of human growth hormone. Natural human growth hormone comes from the pituitary gland. And you do that by fasting. Well, when you sleep, you're fasting because you can't eat, you're sleeping. And if you don't eat when you wake up and put glycogen in your body, sugar, for energy, then the body has no glycogen because you haven't been eating, you were asleep, and then you were in a very dormant state because you were asleep. So if you shock the body by getting up, getting dressed, take some preparation the night before, right? Take a shower, get everything together, put on your deodorant and everything, have your gym clothes ready before you go to bed. Have your gym bag packed with a fresh towel and all of that. And then you get into the gym immediately. And you immediately start doing some intensive exercise. Then your body is going to respond because you don't have glycogen. It's going to respond by eating fat. You're going to become fat dependent and not sugar dependent, not glycogen dependent. And it's going to respond by releasing human growth hormone, because your muscles need to grow to adapt to that stress. And human growth hormone has a lot of benefits because it keeps the mind sharp, and it keeps your skin tight, keeps you looking young, and keeps your telomeres long. So you want to do that. So get your ass up early in the morning and get to the gym and shock your body. Go from dormant and fasting to intense exercise on an empty stomach, and your body will reward you for it. So that's the reason why you work out first thing in the morning. Besides that, you want to give the best energy of the day to yourself. must confess, it's easier to do swimming laps after you lift weights because you're horizontal, you're not hot because you're in the cool water. You don't realize you're sweating. Yeah, and it's just something that you can continue doing. Once you get a good stroke, pause, and once you are kind of adept at it, it's like walking, right? It's just like walking across water, walking across the pool, back and forth. So it's just a matter of how long you continue to do it. I lost count of how many laps I've done, but I imagine this is my 4th series. Everybody says that swimming is the best exercise because you work muscles that you never knew you had. And I can believe that. But I think what most people don't realize is that your body is 75–80% water. And when you're immersed in water, you become one with the water. And as you're swimming, you're not only working your voluntary muscles, you're also improving the health of your innards, of your internal organs. You're improving your renal health, kidneys especially, and your heart, of course, and everything that's affected by your circulatory system, which is handled. But I'm going to finish this up because I know Kai Kai is waiting for me to pick him up. He likes to sleep late, but not that late. right. No, I got one more series, just for good measure. Just for good measure. You know, the best part about swimming is the sleep you get after. I'm telling you. You put in a good 30 laps, and you will sleep well at night. Enough said. You will sleep so well that you'd want to have that deep slumber every night. You know? Even if it's just from a dozen laps, but push it to 30. Push it to 30. 32 is a half mile. Push it that far.
And billions 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 and billions.
Not to mention the appetite you get, right, after a nice long swim. But I don't usually pig out as much as I used to. Trying to, I don't know, keep it down a little bit, lose a little belly fat, whatnot. The last 2 laps. The glory laps. The victory laps. All right. Thank you for joining me. This has been another hour of the Peak Performance Protocol. The physical side, right? So we train the brain for peak physical performance, and then we demonstrate that training with physical performance. And then we continue, because when you promote neurodendritic plasticity through neurofeedback, especially at the highest frequency that you can train at, you're also forming new neural pathways in your brain, which empowers you to do things that you previously didn't think that you could do, didn't believe that you can do. And I'm going to continue this peak performance training all the way up to and including my competition in the Los Angeles Marathon this coming March. So thank you for taking this ride with me, and I want everyone, as always, to stay kind. And if you're not kind, become kind. Be kind, right? Stay blessed and stay healthy. Thank you for watching Devin Lockett and Biomed RX TV. And happy Thanksgiving. Peace.